states it applies only to the Kremlin case, and any other case which has any variation, they say they have the right to enforce. And let me tell you, there is a case, and I know the case because I was supplied the case, and I spoke to the plaintiff. And the plaintiff said she would like to resolve the matter, and according to OEO's order, which I have a copy here, OEO concluded that there should be a conference to try to settle it. According to the plaintiff, and I'm not going to mention her name, and she lives here in the village, her attorney sent in 4 items. According to OEO, there should have been some sort of discussion, conclusion, reconciliation. Hugo chose not to reply at all and not even to make a counteroffer. My main concern is, and I've checked it with another lawyer, and I think before we just take Mr. Tennyson's advice, another lawyer should be consulted as to what our chances are. And I have, and the other lawyer said, with that article in the Cameron case, you're suing, what you're going to get is zilch. Again, nothing to do with ADA. We're not subject to ADA. And if you read Mr. Tennyson's memo, which I did carefully, he's very specific, and it says it has nothing to do with cases brought in a federal court. Now, I asked for any information. Mr. Israel denied it, but I went on PACER.
What?
And PACER tells you every federal case. There is no case being filed now in PACER, and if it is filed, we would know, okay?
Thank you, that's your 3 minutes.
I will wrap this up by saying...
Thank you, that's your 3
vote,
minutes.
Excuse me. I will vote no. I urge you to vote no. Let's save our money.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Dan, you've been up now. This is the 3rd time.
No, but it's every time
All right.
it's a new issue, yeah. Just to be sure, when we sign the contract, aren't we just as much as OEO there? Because we agree to all the terms and conditions, and we there, what we're suing them, we signed.
We signed a contract that did not, I repeat, did not require wheelchairs on the buses. Is that to be interpreted as negligence?
Okay, so if we lose, do we have to pay their expenses too?
If we sue, $1 comes out of your pocket and mine. There's no insurance company that's going to insure us if we launch a lawsuit. Now, if this lady sues us, and she's threatening to, in federal court, of course, we have coverage. Not sure that's the... All right. Olga, go ahead.
David, if we take that same $25,000 that you want to throw away to a lawyer, and we
Not me.
buy... Wait a minute. We buy a used handicap van for about the same price. We could accommodate the woman on a phone basis, on a purse. All she has to do is call, and we could accommodate her. And that may satisfy until the new contract, the new bus contract comes up, and then we could deal with getting handicap buses.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
I agree with you. I mean, but you got to understand, this woman is not going to conciliate. She demands that all the buses be wheelchair accessible in 90 days. She demands a check for $40,000. Come on. Right?
Mr. President.
All right, John, please.
Okay.
This is going to be the last one, I think, on this issue.
I hope so. I am handicapped. I will not call the buses. First of all, you got to remember one thing. A handicapped person has an aid. So that's 2 people going on the bus. If anybody thinks that that handicapped bus is going to pick you up at 1 o'clock and drop you off at 3 o'clock with traffic and everything else, the other guy's waiting another 2 hours to pick him up. And that's, what's out of order?
Let him be heard. Please, folks.
What's out of order?
All right, John, go ahead, John.
No, what I'm trying to say is, it's not gonna work.
Right.
You're gonna
All right.
have to have a group of people trying to negotiate. You gotta have a Secretary of Transportation, have somebody on that knows handicapped people, what they need, where they gotta go, how long it's gonna take. You're not gonna fit 100 people on the bus in one day.
I gotcha. All right, I think we're going to call this question. Is it up? All right. Please, press the button of your choice. I want to thank Marilyn Curtis and Ken Graff for operating our vote counting equipment. All right. It's okay. Obviously, we're over quorum, so. It's within 2 votes of the last vote. Has everyone voted who's gonna vote?
I saw 2 people leave.
Yeah, we did, we lost 2 people. All right, bring it up. Oh. All right. There'll be no suing of OEO, obviously. All right, last but not least, this is the proposal and contract to proceed with the fence and sidewalk along 1,350-odd feet on Century Boulevard. Donald, do you want to say anything about this? Donald and Fausto have probably been the point of the spear on working this contract up. So, you want to say anything?
Morning, everyone. What you see before you is the same contract that you saw last month. I just want to point out that there are 2 issues that would be, assuming approval, that would have to be settled before signage. One is there's a question of whether to change the interval of the upright posts from 6 to 8 feet, and that would have a positive effect on the price. It would be less. And actually, that's all I have. It's pretty self-explanatory. The specifications are pretty extensive. There is language in there that links this contract to our plans. So in any case of a dispute, our plans would rule. Those were created by our project manager. So we're happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I just want to say, I've reiterated this, the officers and CAM have been working on this project for a year and a half. We've been pushing it forward very rapidly for the past 4 months because of your concerns of safety, whatever you want to call it for, in the Haverhill entrance. And we do appreciate if you would support this project so we can get along. We've made every possible attempt to make this, it's going to be a 3 to 4 month project. We can speed it up, but we need to move it along. If you guys don't vote for it, we can't apply for the permits, we can't go anyplace. We've narrowed down the vendor, we've got the architect involved, we've got many things in place. We just need you to vote yes to move this along. Thank you.
All right, can we have a motion to proceed with the Century Boulevard fence project?
I'd like to make a motion to put the cheapest one over there, and because the rest of the village, again, the rest of the village is still vulnerable, and you people think that you have a fence that protects you, you're mistaken.
All right.
The rest of the village is in, so to put the cheapest one possible.
All right, look, this proposal is in front of you. I think it's 9-gauge chain link fence. It's pretty typical. I don't know what you mean by the cheapest. You want to put up a plastic construction thing or maybe Jack's chicken wire. I mean, you want a nice solid fence there. No one, well, I hope no one, certainly not me, has ever argued this on the basis of security. I think anyone who's lived here any length of time knows that this is not a security fence, you know, so it's just something that we've been working on. Mr. Waldman pulled down his fence. And there's been a lot of people over time that have come up about this fence. So I don't think we can ignore it. However, again, I will reiterate, look at the bottom line. This is not cheap. This is not a cheap project. This project is gonna probably top out when you think about the irrigation we have to move and the landscaping. I can see this coming out over $350,000. All right, that's something to think about. All right, John?
Yes, I've been in construction a long time.
What?
I've been in construction a long time. I've been doing concrete work and all. That price that you got right now is a terrific price for the 1,350 square feet. That's not 1,350 square feet.
Linear feet.
You got to times it by 5
Right.
for the sidewalk. So I did a lot of work in Queens and North, and that price is...
All right,
I make a motion that we go along with this proposal and vote yes for it.
All right. Dan, are you serious about this motion? Because when you say... Okay, so Dan withdraws this motion. And John makes a motion. John, will you repeat it?
Patricia's going to second it.
Yes, I will go with the motion that we take our KC bid and give him the job.
All right. Okay, seconded by Patricia Caputo, right here. Is there any further discussion on this one? Yes, there's always, whoa, don't speak for everybody. Come on, Jack.
Jack just needs to say that he never advocated for a chicken wire fence.
No, you said
His
it looked
comment
like
about a
chicken
chicken
wire.
wire was a comment about your presentation on a $350,000 project. And delegates, have a little more respect for yourself. This gentleman got up here this morning and complained about the lack of details in the proposal. And the comment was, this isn't the Grand Coulee Dam. No, it's not, but it's $350,000 of your money. And you ought to be asking for what the fence is being made out of. I just heard it's a 9-gauge fence. I worked in the contracting department. I will vote no today, not because I'm not in favor of a fence or a quality fence, because I will not vote yes on a project when I don't have more detail.
All right. Thank you, Jack. Olga.
Stuart mentioned that there's going to be a hedge in front of the fence going to about 8 feet. I suggested at that time, this was at the executive board meeting, that if we're going to put up a hedge that's going to grow to 8 feet, we don't need a fence. And guess what? David Israel agreed with me. Because a fence is never going to secure Century Village. No one with a hedge is going to go into the village there. First of all, cutting a hedge is a lot harder than going through a thin fence. You can cut a fence easily with the wire cutter. But going through a fence that's thick, that's tough. You could get into this village very easily by the golf course. And if you're going to want to get in, that's where you're going to go. You're not going to go where there's a guard there. So let's be smart. Save over $300,000 and vote no. Be smart.
All right, thank you, Olga. Jean.
Yes, Jean Dowling, Salisbury, aye. Until last week, or last month, when we were here, I was for putting up a fence until I saw that it was going to be a chain link fence. This is our home, and we want a nice entrance to it, and a chain link fence doesn't do it for me. However, there are other ways of doing it. For instance, when I lived up north, I had a driveway that was concrete that was too narrow. So I called in a company, and they widened that driveway with a decorative material on the side of it, so it looked like it belonged there instead of just being a patch on the sidewalk. I would ask that they check and see if we couldn't run a strip down next to the sidewalk to widen it, to make it ADA compliant, and yet not have to drill up that whole sidewalk and put the whole thing down. The second thing is, Olga is right. You can put vegetation in, for instance, bamboo certain types of bamboo grow almost as large as a tree trunk, and they will grow together. They are planted in clumps so that they come together. Once that bamboo is grown, you couldn't get through it with a machete. You can't get through it. So there are other alternatives that are cheaper than $350,000. However, I think you need to check the sidewalk one particularly, because that can be done much cheaper and done in a nice looking way. Thank you.
We have, yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I just, right, exactly. I was just going to say, for the last 12 months, guys, we need a fence, we need a fence. Here, we're here. We're bringing you a vote, a fence and a new sidewalk to make it ADA compliant. Please vote yes. Thank you.
All right. I think we've had reasonable discussion, and please press the button of your choice.
What are you up to?
Almost done. Has everyone voted who intends to vote? Please. One more tick. All right, guys, bring it up. All right. Not quite as overwhelming, but certainly positive. This project will roll forward. Committee reports are contained herein. I would like to bring up, we have some distinguished guests here, and I would like to bring up County Commissioner, District 2, Honorable Greg Weiss.
Good morning. Oh, time to go. All right. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here for you if there's anything you need. I really have nothing in particular. I hope everybody's having a great summer. As was mentioned earlier, you know, it is really important now. We really are getting to the close part of hurricane season really beginning. There's expected up to, I think, 6 or 8 inches of rain this weekend with the current disturbance we have. So if you haven't prepared, this is the time to do it. Also, reminder, if you don't have bottled water, there is a thing called a tap in most people's homes where you can turn it on and water will come into your sink. So if you don't have bottled water, you don't have to rush out to the store to get it. Just fill up some containers that you can close up in your home, and you'll have water to get you through the next few days. You don't have to go and worry and fight in the stores for the empty shelves. Other than that, I'm happy to take any questions if there's anything you'd like me to take back or follow up for you.
I have a question, Mr. Weiss.
Yes,
Where
sir.
do we stand with the no turn on red sign?
It is still on the top of my agenda, and you know, I'm hoping to get it coordinated. You know, we're going to be putting in a new traffic light for the synagogue to cross over, so hopefully we'll coordinate it all
Marvelous.
with that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Commissioner.
Yes, sir.
I'm having trouble contacting the chief engineer. I assume Hassan is still the chief engineer. The amount of chlorine in the water has been incredibly high.
Yeah, it's pool water.
It's almost pool water. And I'm wondering if you have any ideas how long this is going to go on.
There was an announcement that went out, and I believe it was pretty much for the month of July. They were going to be flushing the water system. So it should be subsiding, but we'll follow up with our water utilities department, and I'll make sure you get an answer back.
Thanks.
And if you ever have trouble contacting anybody in the county, please let me know, and we will get you whatever answer. And that's you shouldn't have a problem.
All right,
Nobody should ever have a problem.
All right, Esther.
Greg, I just want to thank you in public for your emails that you send, because I've actually opened them, which was unusual. and read them, and I have gone with my husband to several of the meetings and found some great information and met some great people, so thank you.
Thank you very much, and please, I'll let my staff know, because they're the ones that actually put it together, but thank you very much, and we appreciate that you are looking at it.
Any other questions for our county commissioner? Commissioner Weiss, thank you for coming to our meeting.
Thank you. Oh, and thanks to all the volunteers here. I mean, you guys really make this place a wonderful place for everybody to live.
All right. And now we should bring up one of our most beloved persons in government, the tax collector. Oh, please. Did I get that wrong? Oh, property appraiser. I'm sorry.
I'm much more beloved than the tax collector. But no, Ann Gannon is your tax collector. I'm Dorothy Jacks, your property appraiser. So little distinction, but very, very tied together. And we do love our tax collector as well. I just wanted to say hello. Nice to see you all. This month, you'll get a letter from me, the proposed tax notice. It's going to be a 2-page document. It'll tell you about what your taxes are going to be this year. That's important on it. We don't send the bills. The bills do come from the collector November 1st. So you have a little time between the two, just so you can be ready. On the back side of the notice, it'll show all your benefits. So check that your homestead is correctly reported, and any other benefits, if you get a widow's benefit or a veteran's benefit, you look for it on that form, make sure it's all correct. That's the most important thing about the notice. I want to make sure you know about all of our benefits. Mike handed out some great flyers earlier. We always have a lot of these and can get you more about additional benefits. We were talking about we'd love you to pass them out and share the information with those in your buildings. Always good to have your help doing that. So these are things like veterans benefits, disability benefits, widows and so forth. Senior benefits, there's a nice low-income senior additional homestead benefit that's reported on here. I'm not going to keep you forever. Our numbers are always, our phone numbers are listed. And once a month, unfortunately it was yesterday for this month, but once a month on the first Thursday of the month, which was yesterday, we are here at Century Village in the afternoon in this building for an hour. One of my clerks is here, usually one of the wonderful ladies that works in the exemption section downtown, comes out, and she's here to answer questions. She can also take your homestead application if you're new to the community, but she can answer questions about any of the benefits. So do take advantage of that. It's always listed, and it's right here in the building, right out front behind the information desk. 1:30, the first Thursday of the month. And again, I'm Dorothy Jacks. I love being your property appraiser. Thank you all of you who stayed to hear. You have so many things going on in the community, but it's true what Commissioner Weiss says. It's wonderful to see your budget. I know so much of it is you volunteers. So thank you. That's important. Have a great day.
All right. Rather than risk misidentifying someone else, are there any other distinguished guests present? Come on up. Tell us who you are.
Good morning. Greg Langowski with United States Senator Marco Rubio. I'm going to be out front afterwards if you have any comments or questions or need any help on a federal agency or, IRS or Medicare, Social Security. We can help with that as well. Just to give you just a quick rundown what's going on in Congress. The federal budget has passed and is now going to the president for signature. And coming up this year, here's some hot topics that will be coming up through the United States Senate. One is prescription drug prices, for those to be lowered. Funding for community health centers, and that really impacts, especially at Palm Beach County, and bringing high service but low payments to individuals that need help. Veterans legislation and funding. Small Business Administration, tweaks to that and for helping entrepreneurs. And also surface transportation bill. We have lots of infrastructure problems, as many people know, roads, bridges, environmental and Everglades funding, and coral reef restoration, because we have dying oceans. And so that's what's coming up for the rest of this year for this calendar year. And if you have any comments or questions, I'll be out front at the end.
All right. I see one other. I don't know. All right.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Gabby Ferraro with your Constitutional Tax Collector's Office, the Office of Ann Gannon. I am subbing today for Amy Murphy. She's your Civic Engagement Liaison, and you may remember Amy because last time you saw her, she was getting ready to have a baby. Well, she has a beautiful son now, and she'll be back with us in the office later this month. And I just wanted to let you know we left copies of our award-winning monthly newsletter, Tax Talk, out on the table, so please grab a copy. You'll find all sorts of tips and tricks from the office on saving money and having an efficient visit with us. And thanks so much.
All right. Commissioner, second bite at the apple.
Well, I just want to let you know, we checked with our Water Utilities Department, and the flushing started on July 14th, and it will end tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay.
In case anyone cares, if you just leave a pitcher of drinking water open for a few hours, well, that chlorine will evaporate out of it. But it really is pretty strong. All right, I would like to call a motion to adjourn. And so done. And thank you all who came to help us get our village's business done and hung into the end. Yes, George, what? I can't hear you.
Operation Pill Drop outside.
Oh, pill drop outside in the lobby. Thank you all.